Liberty Nation with Tim Donner.
So here's a question for you. After Donald Trump, how will leftists fill their hate vacuum? Because the left has long made sport of depicting Republicans as not just wrong, but evil. Indeed, it's a long and venerable tradition among those on the left side of the political spectrum, or at least they treat it as such, hating on whatever Republican makes it to the top of the political food chain. In fact, it's become so common and so egregious in the case of Donald Trump that we take progressives radiating hate for granted. And we thus become prone to forget that the Trump derangement that they display is simply the latest and most odious iteration of a decades-long tradition of leftist vilification of Republican presidents. Take us back about 50 years to Richard Tricky Dick Nixon, who was, to the left, the devil incarnate, dripping with evil. They succeeded, the left did, in forcing him to resign, but 6 years later, after the docile presidency of Jimmy, I will never lie to you, Carter, Ronald Reagan showed up and was openly depicted by the left and their supplicants in the media as a racist at home and warmonger abroad. But that project proved difficult because of Reagan's enduring personal popularity. The left took a brief hate respite with Reagan's successor, George H.W. Bush. But then along comes the dastardly duo of George W. Bush and, gasp, Dick Cheney. We knew from the start that Bush would be depicted as a dolt, a know-nothing Texas hayseed somehow born as the unworthy scion of a family of wealth, privilege, and power. Lest we forget, following the Trump era, the attacks on Bush 43 were vicious, scurrilous, and unrelenting. Unlike Trump, Bush refused to respond in kind, and his approval numbers were successfully driven into the toilet by the time he left office and yielded to Barack Obama. As much as George W. Bush was reviled by his enemies on the left, it was almost impossible to believe that the left could adopt a hatred of even greater magnitude while that 43rd President W. was holding down the Oval Office. But they did, and in Richard Bruce Cheney, they saw the embodiment of every dark and sinister force on the planet. He was the evil mastermind, pulling the puppet strings on Bush, the unwitting stooge. The mere mention of the name Cheney would send leftists screaming from the room in uncontrolled rage. Of course, all of that was just a dress rehearsal for the main event. Nixon, Reagan, Bush 43, and Cheney rolled into one neat, oh-so-hateable bundle named Trump. Leftists rode the wave of their media wing and perfected their scorched earth schemes to the point that a majority of Americans believed in the run-up to the 2020 election that the 45th president is a racist. Never mind his unprecedented outreach to black voters, never mind a record low black unemployment, none of that matters. No wonder he lost. The left will continue their demonization of Trump for a while, but as time marches on and we come to expect this current president to stop blaming Trump for everything wrong in the world and put some actual points on the scoreboard for the American people, who will the leftists direct their fire at now? With no Trump to kick around, who will progressives target and demonize as the latest embodiment of conservative evil? Who will fill the left's hate vacuum? And that takes us to the heart of the matter. Leftists need to not just disagree, but vilify conservatives is an admission that they cannot win on the strength of their own ideas and have been reduced to the assertion of raw power. They have sought not to debate, but to end debate. So who's next in the left's hate parade? Ron DeSantis, Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, someone else who dares to carry forward the MAGA America First message? We're not yet sure who it might be, but rest assured that with Trump disappearing slowly into the rearview mirror, the left's hate vacuum will soon be filled afresh.
Hi, I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Mark Angelides, Sarah Cowgill, Tim Donner, and Scott Cosenza, and this is Liberty Nation.
Now let's take a look at the LibertyNation.com electoral leaderboard. It's still 238 for Joe Biden.
What if stories and legends can offer us the key to unraveling the hottest political issues of the day and apply their lessons to understanding the chaos of modern politics?
Impeach 45!
Only where freedom of speech is honored can people who look, sound, or think differently be truly free.
If you're discussing something that's difficult, the probability that you're not going to offend each other is zero.
President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
Donald J. Trump is now president.
With one click, Liberty Nation delivers tomorrow's news.
And remember, liberty.
Today.
All the time and everywhere.
LibertyNation.com